Special counsel Jack Smith and his team were recently forced to tell the truth about Donald Trump's classified documents case, and it's big. So the news is absolutely huge because it may prove that things are not what they seem. But what happened? Well, they acknowledged that some evidence in the prosecution of Trump for hoarding classified documents may have been tampered with. This means that the documents that they found were not in the same sequence as all of us saw. This brings up the photo that was published all over mainstream media. This was the one where documents were scattered all across the floor with cover sheets listed as classified, hiding what was underneath. It showed a clear sign that Donald Trump was mishandling these documents. However, as you now know, and as confirmed by Jack Smith's team, the truth is very much different from what the media wants you to think. They want us to look at this photo and imagine Donald Trump just having these papers out for the world to see. But the reality is that the FBI were the ones who were in charge of moving these documents in this manner. In fact, Jack Smith's team had to say that there are some boxes where the order of items within the box is not the same as in the associated scans. His team also tried to save face by saying that the shifts within the boxes were caused by moving them, especially as there are different shapes and sizes of certain items inside the boxes. But you have to ask, shouldn't this be considered as tampering with evidence?
We probably saw last night that Jack Smith got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. It was released late last night and it's a big story. The documents case is a hoax created by them for election interference purposes. And so that one looks like it's going asunder. A brilliant judge saw some facts, and I haven't read what was revealed yet. It just came out. But the document hoax is indeed a hoax. The whole thing is a hoax. All of them are hoaxes, including the civil cases. They're controlled by the White House. They're controlled by Democrat judges and prosecutors that were put there specifically. They hate Trump. And the people are getting it. That's why we just came out. A new Emerson poll just was released about 2 minutes ago. And I'm leading by a lot in every swing state and leading in the general election. And you saw the CNN poll. I'm sure they aren't too happy with it, but the CNN poll was fantastic. So we're here. This is a hoax. This is a judge who's conflicted. Badly conflicted. I've never seen a judge so conflicted. And giving us virtually no rulings. I hear I'm not even allowed to say advice of counsel. This is a new one to me.
To make matters worse, they admitted that the FBI used handwritten notes to mark some of the classified documents. Now, a big issue with that is that they also admitted that some of these handwritten notes may have been placed in the boxes as well. Now, again, is this tampering with evidence? Because it happened with every box in Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence. Now, there's a chance that this evidence isn't even considered. And this situation, according to the former president, is getting to the people of this country. Trump says that he's leading Biden by this much in the polls because the American people are now waking up to what he already knew, that the White House has targeted him in the 2024 presidential elections, and that these are merely interferences of his campaign trail. However, Donald Trump is becoming much more popular with these cases, which means that his time in trial has become the campaign trail. Now, while Trump is busy with his legal issues, the president is busy with a big decision on his hands. He's now considering bringing in Palestinians to our country as refugees, offering them a permanent home for their own safety. One of the plans revolves around the decades-old United States Refugee Admissions Program to welcome Palestinians with U.S. ties who have managed to escape Gaza and enter neighboring Egypt. It's expected that thousands of these people would be welcomed into our nation.
CBS News has obtained internal federal documents that say that the Biden administration could allow some Palestinian refugees to enter the United States.
Now, this plan would provide a safe haven for certain people looking to flee Gaza. CBS News immigration reporter Camilo Montoya Galvez was the first to report this scoop. Camilo, what more do we know about this plan and who exactly it would apply to?
Errol, the Biden administration for the past weeks has been discussing several policy options to resettle and welcome some Palestinian refugees fleeing the war in Gaza. That is according to internal documents that we obtained here at CBS News. We know that one of the plan involves officials now vetting refugees in Egypt. These are Palestinians with American citizen or resident family members who have been able to get out of Gaza and vetting them there in Egypt, and then processing them into the U.S. under the traditional refugee resettlement program.
Meanwhile, the Biden administration continues to avoid and ignore the U.S.-Mexico border. And even though he failed there, the president was successful in getting the attention of some of our allies. Now, according to him, the election at the end of the year would be about freedom, America, and democracy. Now, he's getting a ton of heat for what he says next, because he says that the U.S. is as strong as it is because we accept illegal immigrants, something that other countries don't do. The president was quoted during a campaign fundraising event where he was asked, quote, "Why is China stalling so badly economically? Why is Japan having trouble? Why is Russia? Why is India?" To which he answered, "Because they're xenophobic. They don't want immigrants." Now remember, some of these countries are our allies, and Biden is calling them out about their own choices. Many voting Americans are against an open border, which begs the question, who is Biden serving with this kind of a border? Which kind of reminds me of Democratic Representative Henry Cuellar. So Cuellar infamously criticized the Biden administration for the influx of illegal immigrants through our borders. It's not every day that you see a Democrat going against the grain, let alone against their own president, which is why this next bit of news isn't that surprising. Representative Henry Cuellar and his wife were recently indicted on federal bribery charges. The Justice Department said that Cuellar and his wife were indicted on more than a dozen federal charges alleging that they took in hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes. Federal prosecutors say that the couple accepted at least $598,000 in bribes from the Azerbaijan oil and gas company together with the bank.
Texas Democratic Congressman Henry Cuellar and his wife surrendered to federal authorities today on charges of conspiracy and bribery. The couple is accused of taking about $600,000 from an energy company and bank tied to foreign entities. CBS's Nicole Skanga has those late-breaking developments.
I want to make it clear that my wife, Imelda, and I are innocent of these allegations.
Representative Henry Cuellar and his wife Imelda now out on bond after being indicted on more than a dozen counts, including conspiracy, bribery, and money laundering.
We are innocent of the allegations. One more thing. I'm running for re-election, and I will win this November again.
2 years ago, the FBI raided Cuellar's Laredo home and campaign office. And today's stunning indictment alleges the Texas congressman set up front companies and accepted nearly $600,000 in bribes from an oil company owned by the government of Azerbaijan, plus a Mexican bank. The money allegedly spent to pay off more than $80,000 in taxes, $11,000 in car payments, and $12,000 on a custom gown.
Prosecutors said that the bribes were accepted through fake consulting contracts, through front companies and middlemen into shell companies that were owned by Imelda Cuellar. In exchange for bribes, Cuellar then used the power and prestige of his office to advance the interests of Azerbaijan and the foreign bank. Now, doesn't that sound familiar? Using the power of one's office to advance an oil company's interest. However, the one that you and I are remembering didn't lead to any indictments. And yes, I'm talking about the first son, Hunter Biden, who critics say used the family name to make millions of dollars for practically doing nothing. Cuellar called out the president for the border, a soft spot for him, given how people have said that the borders are dangerous. And now we're seeing Cuellar in legal trouble. So what does this say to you? You and I know for a fact that we have corrupt government officials, but this kind of takes it to another level. But what do you guys think? Now, as always, I'll be here every single day to bring you guys the information to keep you informed. Appreciate you guys rocking with me. Thank you for hitting the like button and sharing these videos. I'll see you on the next one.